Yo, what's up? Check it out. Is this working? Yeah. Hey, let me just get this a little closer. Yeah, I think it's a little better like that. All right, let's get to it. So here we have this podcast, which says it's a limited 10-episode podcast series created and produced by New York City-based activist Hannah Kang. And I believe, is she Korean? She might be. Anyways, we're about to get to this over here. So I had actually, I'm not going to go through the email, but we can see that they actually have 10 videos now. They just launched this one 8 minutes ago. So we could see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes on. Once again, this is a podcast to cover truths regarding anti-Asian hate and racism against Asian and Asian Americans. Now, I made an episode on this before. I was slightly suspicious because first we see how the views went. We see China Mac is at number 1. And then we see that Doug Kim is at number 2. And Doug Kim is someone that I've interacted with through something called K-Town Social Club. But to tell you the truth, and Doug Kim is actually in New York City, could be in New York City now. He actually isn't appearing on K-Town Social because I think that he's in New York City. But he also is really never, he doesn't want to have any conversations with myself. He's also part of the American Communist Party and is actually a supporter of Jackson Hinkle. So, I mean, these are the activists that were chosen. And this was the final one that she finished with. Being a Korean adoptee is significant. She created a brand to fight Asian hate. So I want to see some of this over here.
People pulling their eyes back and saying like,
and we could see that as in terms of her activism, she created a clothing line. And we could see that there's some pictures here. Let me see if I can find them. I haven't watched the whole thing. I will watch it. I think right now there's only 120 subscribers and 7 views.
6 months old into an American family.
I also want you to think about, right, like why, like I've definitely contacted Perry Young, but these people are actually, I don't know how much Anna Kang is in on it, right? I'll show you another post later, but you can see that despite my great body of work, that China Mac has never been on my show, Grace Meng has never been on my show, Perry Young has never been on my show, and Doug Kim has never been on my show, despite my huge body of work. However, right, Hannah Kang can just walk in. She says that she's an activist. We'll look her up in a second. I'm not saying okay, let's go and look up Tiger in the Room podcast. Let's look at the Instagram. I actually do have some interactions with this particular podcast. So let's try to shoot out a message over here. Okay, I probably sent messages through here. Okay, I'm an Asian American and Korean activist. Want to come on the show? Okay, that would help promote, right, her project, right? No response. I sent emails as well. We will check that as well. Okay? But if I'm not getting any response here, then why would I follow up, right? Okay? Within the Asian American activism world, I'm highly blackballed. And this really smells a lot like just so you know, Perry Young, actually, he was doing a AA NHPI for Kamala Harris. And we see that Grace Meng is here too. There's a very strong high-level Democrats are involved with this particular project, and this probably will not be covered by anyone, right? Like I said before, right? Andrew Yang actually had an all-white staff. Not saying that's how is the most prominent, like if the most prominent black leader had no black people on his staff, people would say something. But for Asian Americans, it's completely okay. There is no addressment of this. There's no acknowledgement of it. It's completely okay. So there's a lot of abuses that happen within our community that just go unreported or unacknowledged. Let's see, Perry Young. And what was this thing again? API for Kamala? Yeah. Okay, so... yeah, Perry Young, friends, please join me in this incredible men are uniting for Kamala Harris, right? This is Democrat machine stuff. Democrat machine control of minority groups. And, you know, it's okay for him. Once again, we see him with the Queen Latifah. We see him with the Hollywood set, right? He's a Hollywood guy himself to a certain extent. And you will actually find him working with a lot of... the establishment people are really buffing up his stuff, right? Let's see where it is. Here's the ANHPI for Kamala Harris. Here he is with the Chinese Americans for Harris Waltz. And you could see him. Who else is here? Grace Meng did show up for that one, right? Right, once again, this inside network, right? And some people are allowed in, and some people are allowed up, and some people are not. The same, just because, you know, you got Puff Daddy out there, do you think that there's equivalents in the Asian American world? Okay, who's getting Anniversary Gala Justice in Action Awards? Okay, he's making the presentation for his Asian American Legal Defense of Education and Education Funds. Okay, laughing and smiling with the celebrities. I've said in other videos how it's South Asian men and East Asian women. This is, right, we can see over here this Asian gal is a white guy right here. This is not really, they'll have a couple Asian men to make it look like everything's cool. It's not. This guy is actually doing the hard work in Tennessee. How much work has he done in Tennessee? When Tyre Nichols died, we actually had a panel discussion with the co-chair of Memphis DSA on my channel, as well as a New York City Tennis Association president who lost her son due to violence. And Perry Young is not really doing that. He's actually a Hollywood actor that actually can appeal to people that want to be part of the cool crowd, and people that want to be, you know, have a career and get pushed up. If they want to, you know, get the inside track and get, you know, promoted, then they will engage in certain activities and be silent about other activities. So, Perry Young, once again, we could see his feed over here, right? And we can see a lot of work of him actually, right, promoting himself as the actor, which is fine. And then we can also see him doing work to push people like, what is it named, Grace Meng, or other Democrat shills. And now he's a panelist, Reckoning with Our Racial Past. He's a part of this event, Black History Month kickoff event. What is he doing with black people? Maybe he's featuring some kind of alien dance company, and he's doing some stuff over here. Distinguished panel of local and national leaders discuss the importance of African American history and culture for us all. What is Perry Young doing with or for black people? Do you see any black people in his pictures? I don't. Oh, there was one earlier, right? There was that Queen Latifah. Oh, I found one here again. Oh my goodness, yeah? Is Perry Young in this picture? Sunburst Acoustics got some soul. Some bumps during filming in South Africa. There are some weekly lessons now. I don't see, maybe Perry is part of this, maybe he's not. Okay, so they're traveling to Africa, right? But this is who's selected, right? Selected by the establishment to speak on black and Asian American relations. But the blacks he's interacting with are either from Africa or they're celebrities. If you look at my body of work, right? There's a bunch of white people here too, yeah. But I also have significant work that's me with Ralph McDaniels. This is me, calling a lot of people over here. This is actually, I booked these artists for something called Coney Island Maker Fair. I promote many Subway artists. Further down, confronted this issue from Marcellus Wallace. I also confronted Sharpton, yeah. I do have to go pretty far down. It's been a while, huh? Got an interview coming up with this guy over here. Confronting Cornel West. I guess it's hard to find, right? Yeah, this was actually an event that I did with one of the longest for Christmas in New York State history. African American. I believe she's African American. She's definitely black, right? But we did this event for to take care of the wrongfully incarcerated in front of Kamala Harris's office, and this is the longest form for Christmas in New York State history. Actually, it's better to see my stuff on YouTube, which is really where I try to contact her first. But this will not really be covered. What has actually, look, I know he did good in a poker and stuff, but what has he really done as an activist? Or who has he helped? Like, I don't really see this body of work, right? Like, so it's just interesting to see that, I just want to document that, what is going on in this community. Was she funded, right? Why would be limited to 10 episode podcast series? Is it because these are the ultimate leaders and they want to really make it like the top 10? Or, let's take a look at this New York City based activist Hannah Kang. Let's just look at real quick at her body of work. She did actually mention me in one of her posts because I actually play my violin on the train because my work cannot be supported. But okay, she's on MSN. That's pretty cool. She got good. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, is this person? Okay. She's an activist. Let's see. I would like to know her body of work. She, okay, so let's see. Is this her? I don't think she is. I don't think there's a lot of probably a zillion Hannah Kangs. Just so you know, it's very. Hannah is a very very common Korean name. Kang is probably less. Megan Cattell. Okay, there's. Okay, she's at Lincoln Center campus, Fordham University. Half Korean. Is she half Korean? She might be half Korean, right? She does seem to, fully fledged Asian American Studies program at Fordham. I also have emailed many, Asian American Studies programs all across the nation, and I can actually show that. Let's see if I can find that right quick. Okay, let's see. Email lists. I wonder if the Asian American is on here. API Trump Studies programs. Okay. Let's go open this one up over here. Okay, Fordham is not on the list. Okay, but I have a bunch of them. Emails from across the country for different Asian American Studies programs. So I will add Fordham to the list, and let's do that now. James Kim. Okay. James Kim Fordham. So hopefully people with, can really look at the, I will contact him. I really do not expect anything to happen. But I will be contacting him about Asian American stuff. We'll see if we can make this go forward. I'm pretty sure a lot of these university professors, they are actually controllable by the administration, right? They will, the administrators will make threats on them, and they will comply. They are not really going to really go above and beyond to protect someone like myself, right? I'm a nobody, so the fact this makes it so that I have to massage this database a little bit, yeah. This is Fordham University. Asian American Studies. Okay, so it's just interesting to really note. Once again, Hannah Kim. Let me see if I can find her email. I did definitely email her. We'll also. Oh, it's actually I don't even have. I do. I just remember off the top of my head. Let's go to this over here. Okay, let's go to Hannah. No, it's Tiger. Okay. Here's the email I sent to Tiger in the Room podcast, as well as Doug Kim, as well as Michael Kim at Cora 8, saying that my friend Christopher Leon Johnson, the most prolific reporter in New York City history, this was sent. And the Tiger in the Room podcast got it. This is their email here, tigerroompod@gmail.com. I've reached out multiple ways and see that you had Grace Chanamack, then Grace Meng. My work with black people, including the wrongfully incarcerated, is extremely relevant, but I have never received a response, and I think that's because Grace Meng funds the podcast. I think she also gave, you could deny it, but how do you explain how I have reached out to you repeatedly without response? Okay, Chris, I'll send you more evidence soon. Okay. So I hit reply all. What? Yo, things are acting funny nowadays. I'm dead serious, yeah? Okay. Or maybe, okay. Okay. Okay, Chris. Yes. Put out today. Let's go and find the live stream of myself. I live stream my reactions. And you can also see my extensive work. Even if you just take Asian American activism, you can see that I have over, some of these are bookmarked from other producers, but most of it is mine. I had the mixer with candidates across the nation to talk about stuff going on, about the Trump. I also had been covering the CPC protests, right? I protest against DEI with Al Sharpton. Had to acknowledge my work, which I appreciate. Covering the Ong stuff, right? You could see all these are DGL7, right? Emailing all the councils of the Asian countries to ask them to reflect on my situation. Talking about Chris Bay being used to attack black people and how this is not being addressed. Talking about, right, United Front Against Displacement and Carl Jha and, right, Can You Trust Legal Aid Society. All of these things, right, addressing, right, talking about legendary Asian American activists, right, this guy's the founder of Know the Tool, right, I actually somehow got into it, got to get him an interview, which was interesting, covering the Asian American perspective on the Trump indictment, legendary work, right, with the historical first state elected in New York State history Asian American legislator, and also the first Filipino American right here. I have I have significant stuff going on. I also covered the misconception that Black Asian Solidarity Stop Asian Hate Rally, which had once again the people who were running this, which was Will X. Ham, made sure not to include me. There's the Democrat gatekeepers, like the Puff Daddies of the world. None of them are talking about how Andrew Yang Ford's staff is 100% white, as documented in this video. I have another person who doesn't really get interviewed, right? But he's actually not really as hardcore as me, but he's definitely accomplished in his own right. He's gotten a little bit in there and softened up a little bit, I'm sorry to say, but he definitely is very accomplished in respect to his work. But the only unionized Chinese restaurant in all of New York City, right? They don't give a shit about when we unionize, right? It's only they care about Starbucks workers or Amazon workers. But as for Chinese Americans, they don't give a fuck about us. So I cover some of these issues as well. Also talking about with Jim Mason, right? One of the what I think it was the vice president of the Washington State People's Party, vice chair of the People's Party of Washington State, right? Yeah. And a lot of also media has worked to cover up what's going on in the People's Party and the money that was stolen and the sexual abuse that was going on. They're just like Puff Daddy and Harvey Weinstein. The same type of elitist Axis games going on. So look, Tiger in the Room podcast, she did actually mention me in one of her posts, which was interesting. Now that's on Hannah Kim's, I think, personal. Let me go see if I can find it. Followed by. Did she block me? It's possible. Hmm. Maybe she posted it on herself. Is she following herself? Hopefully. Okay. Grace Meng is following, right? I requested. Grace Meng knows who I am. Grace Meng is not messing with me. Yeah. Azam News. Oh, I used to be following them, but I think Perry Young, yeah, I'm following him. China Mac, there's no value for me working with China Mac. I'm telling you, I've tried to reach out to him many times. He's been instructed not to work with me. In fact, they're really trying to lift his profile because I'll be honest with you, China Mac is not really an activist. He's a rapper, which I respect him on that, right? But he's not really an activist. He's done some activist stuff, you know what I mean? But it's like his second job or third job, really, right? It's distant. This shirt, right? Proud AF to be Asian. That's from China Mac's group, which I was also excluded from because I was speaking out against Andrew Yang. There's money floating around in the system, and even potentially, I don't even know if they were actually if this was funded, right? Why did it only be a 10-episode series on anti-Asian hate? Oh wait, maybe this is her. Okay. HC. Okay, I think maybe I'm blocked actually. Wow, that would be amazing. Oh really? HC Loek. I think I'm blocked. I'm pretty sure I'm blocked. That's. Let me see if she tagged herself. China Mac Grace from New York, right? Yeah. Okay. My work is not being covered, folks. This is not an accident. And a lot of people have a community they can fall back on. This is also a very big part of being Fulton. I know Fulton. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. But how many Fultons can there be? Wait a minute. Let me see. Is this the same one? We'll see. Some people have a community they can fall back on or rely on. That's not me. My community is more really the poor people. And there are Asian Americans who back me up straight up and down, but a lot of them sold out, and a lot of them are taking the deal, and they're siding with the people who have titles, and they're willing to. Right, they know how disposable we are. So I was watching to see when their last. I never got an email, nothing. I just got blocked. Probably was instructed to do so. My issue will never be acknowledged by people outside the Asian American community. Will not really care about helping an Asian American address racism issues. And people inside the community know how useless it is to fight. So they all sold out. And they're willing to bury someone like myself and never talk about my work. What did Cat Williams say? There's like a club. And you get to play or they keep you out. This is happening in the Asian American community. And it's not being acknowledged. You think they only do those things to black people? But black people don't look for people like me. They accept the narratives fed to them by the mainstream media about Asian Americans, while they reject the mainstream media narrative about themselves. It's very frustrating. But that's just really what I'm dealing with. It's not about the credit. If it's not about the credit, why can't they give me any credit? Think about that, right? before I wasn't doing it for the credit either when I first started, to tell you the truth. I didn't do it for the credit. But then I realized that they always kept the credit from me in order to maintain control of the narrative. So never allow them to take the credit from you, because I'm telling you right now, they already know that game. And they use a simplistic ideology to try to convince you, right? Who have they helped? Who have they worked? You know what I mean? You know who they've worked with, which are all the gatekeepers and all the celebrities. But who have they actually helped, and what impact have they actually made besides, oh, I've got a lot of views on me because I was around with all these other celebrities and etc. But whose lives have they really changed and touched? Whose issues are they really working on? I can show you once again my body of work. That's why they don't have me on the show. They have no response to this. Taking on people that are fighting on the industrial complex, fighting for the wrongfully incarcerated, the longest in New York State and the U.S. nation, fighting for people that are facing imminent eviction, fighting for people with disabilities, fighting for Assange and free press, with a lot of accomplishments that others cannot say that they've achieved. Not even close. You could see in the 22 election cycle, I had 32 videos with candidates all around the nation. This year, it was less than half of that. It was 15. You know why? Look at all these candidates from all around the nation, right? Yeah? We got people from Alaska, people from Arizona, from Alaska once again, North Carolina, Florida, Pennsylvania, Florida, Delaware, Wisconsin, people from all over the nation, right? Yeah? North Carolina once again, Kentucky, this is Jeff Young. This year, I mean, in the 2024 election cycle, which was for president, we had less than half. The party leadership and the media are working together to control the access, to control the narrative. And a lot of the party leadership, and the Greens and the Libertarians as well, are millionaires. Or they're hooked into celebrities. And we're still building this and I had the first U.S. presidential candidate debate in U.S. history with the use of the Korean language by one of the candidates. It's not being covered at all. I'm gonna check the chat right quick as well. Millionaire comments, or they're hooked. This is real. It's part of Asian American. Oh, 12 Veils. What's up? What happened this election cycle? 12 Veils. Shout out to 12 Veils. This election cycle was a presidential election, and usually presidential elections get a lot more views and participation. So you would expect the presidential election cycle for more people to, be involved in the political process and to be, engaged. And instead of growing, it shrank. And that's very strange. So thank you very much for recommending my work, 12 Bills. You've been a good friend, and really, I wouldn't have made it this far without you, 12. I really appreciate that. That's why when I was with you yesterday, I just wanted to thank you for everything that you've done for me and for the work you're continuing to do. Right now, I'm having a lot of issues personally that I'm having to deal with, and I want to see my work continue, and you're still continuing the work. You're helping the wrongfully incarcerated. You're doing a lot of activist stuff on your own, and I really love that so much. So thank you so much, 12. And it's time to go out and focus on my own struggles right now, right? So I'm going to try to work on that. We'll see if maybe I can come out to... hit you guys in the text and see if maybe I can roll out through Harlem and see if Otis want to do something today or tomorrow. But I got a lot of my own personal issues that I'm working through, yeah? Alright, thanks again for watching. God bless.